And for me, I say, if we don't make it as a country for the next 25 years, within the next 25, if we don't make it, then we are doomed to be stagnant economically. But that's for an ambitious person.
I know it is very ambitious. I have to agree with you, Ambassador, because I think what we have done from 2025, considering everything that we didn't have, the level of technology that we didn't have, the knowledge and the experts that we also didn't have, and where we are going and the readiness of the countries there, I am very much believe that we are going to get that. Now for the SMEs that are looking at us, who are the engine of this economy, what are we doing to be ready to help and contribute to a country to achieve that?
Sometimes if you want to look forward, you take a glimpse of what happened in the past. Yeah. If you look at the story of economic transformation of our country over the last 25 years, has been defined by a couple of sectors, and the SMEs are playing a critical role. Our first transformation actually started through the banking and financial services sector, the liberalization of the banking sector. You see, when we started having some banks, the likes of CRDB, NBC, NMB being privatized. But in the privatization, the importance of privatization was to inject expertise, capital, you see. We saw that in technology. We started seeing that transformation. But the real transformation of the banking sector, and even you have seen that in the impact on financial penetration, was the integration between mobile technology and banking. So I'll come back to that. So the first transformation was in the banking sector. But when that was happening, that was also the time there was also transformation in the telecommunications sector. The introduction of Mobitel. I remember when I used to work for that German company, my boss, I was amongst the first cohort of people who received those heavy, and they had to pay $2,500 and wait for 3 months to get his. Wow! Because they were doing pre-ordering, and I think by then even the company had not actually started its operations. So, but the transformation of the telecoms sector, the transformation of the banking sector, the transformation of the telecom sector accelerated information dissemination, business information and other types of information. And then we saw the transformation of the mining sector. When we saw privatization in the mining sector, we saw this one. And then manufacturing picking up. Now, tourism also came. Transformation of the tourism sector. Now you could see when telco started, the transformation of the telecommunication sector, SMEs emerging just for selling vouchers.
Correct.
So you do not, I think if you are to do a research of the impact of companies like Yas now over the last 30 years, how many micro and small enterprises that you supported. You see that one person selling different vouchers. You see, now this is somebody who wakes up in the morning, comes to that small booth, sits there the whole day. This is somebody who probably would otherwise have been at home, doing nothing. You see, so that transformation started creating now the convergence between telco, mobile telephony, and banking services. You see, well, now we have created new entities. You see, Wakala, you see these Wakalas to Wakala, and even now the banking have their own Wakala, etc. you don't know you're creating jobs. And they are, we could see now financial penetration has increased. But it means even the economic activities have now increased. Huge contribution in many other sectors. So now going forward, if for example, if you are to retract, say reverse, remove that transformation, trust me, we will not have attained the economic growth that we are talking about now. You see, there is role for big entities, there is role for the big investments, but if we do not have those micro, small, and medium enterprises, we are missing that last mile connectivity. And the growth and the success that we have seen so far as a country is because of that last mile connectivity. Now, some people call them informal. No, if they have an address, there's a phone that you can call them. You see, if they have linkage to a big company like Yas, they're no longer informal. If you can entrust them with money, that you can send money to them and you can get that money out. Before I came here, I needed to pay something in cash. I had to go and to a Mix by Yas agent, got my money. And that system works. So going forward, I think SMEs, micro, small, and medium enterprises, I usually also like to micro, one-person company. These are critical to success. And all over the world, 70% of real employment is actually offered by these small and medium enterprises. So they're very important and very critical to our success. And for me, a challenge to a company like yours, which is, I think you probably call yourself more of a technology company overall. I'm foreseeing it should happen, it will happen, but I think we should increase the pace. We have been very successful in integrating the financial system. So we have very robust payment systems. I think as a continent, probably among the best payment systems in our environment we have. But I think now, for the next phase, because of what is currently available in terms of technology, your companies should transform from just being technology to e-commerce platforms. I usually tell people, with my Yas line, internet enabled, I can go on various platforms, order something from China, pay. I don't need to talk to anybody. I choose what I want. I order, I pay, I sit back. In 2 to 3 weeks, maybe maximum a month, it is delivered by my gate. If I want to order something from Kigoma, or I want to order honey from Tabora, where do I go? So I think there is an opportunity, and that will increase opportunities for SMEs. Once we can integrate production, which is coming up very, very well in terms of what small and medium enterprises are producing. They're producing honey, they're producing mango pico, they're producing shirts, the kitenge batik shirts, they're producing. But how do we get them to market? We have now to think of how do we integrate production centers with maybe so production sectors with logistics, you see, in terms of ensuring there has to be consolidation centers, stores where those things are brought, and then you have to integrate with logistics, the delivery companies, you see, integrate with payment systems, such that if I want to buy something from the dollar, it should be possible to pay today and it should be delivered tomorrow. Because we have logistics that work, you see, but that integration hasn't happened because we do not have very robust e-commerce platforms. You see, we do not have the likes of Alibaba, the likes of Amazon, the likes of eBay, the likes of whatever. So I think And I think we can have also SMEs that are technology companies, the startups that you're talking about, providing such solutions to integrate all those. I can tell you that is what will give us the next leapfrog that we need in terms of, because now we have people who are producing, especially SMEs, and they'll tell you our problem is market. But even when they access the market, they'll tell you our problem is working capital, because the person who wants to these commodities, they want us to deliver. Once they receive, that's one, because they don't trust us. You see, they cannot pay us in advance because this system is not integrated. But if you can pay in advance for a product in China and relax, why can't I do the same here? But it's because you do not have a lot of such platforms. You see, it shouldn't be one, there should be multiple platforms that support different types of businesses. So I just to say, I think SMEs have played a critical role to get us to where we are. SMEs are the ones that are going to get us to the realization of the Vision 2050. Of course, interconnected with the big, the large investments. But we do not. If we do not have SMEs, we will not have that last mile solution, and will not be able to create the number of jobs that we want to create. Because jobs creation is also an important pillar in the Vision 2050, especially given the population growth that we are seeing over the next 25 years. The population of Tanzania is going to be at least 130 million people, double of where we are now.
So the challenge is well taken by our counterpart from Mixed by Yas, and that's something that I believe we have been working on, and it will be out there. One thing that I can also continue to tell you is I think, as you've mentioned, Ambassador, it's very important for SMEs and startup to continue to create these things and then partner with the likes of Yas, and we're very happy to do that, to continue to use everything that we have to get there. So now we've spoken about one industry or one sector, manufacturing, that we expected to grow a lot further. What are the other industries? Because I believe in the saying that say follow the money. So if I'm a SME now, a startup, what are the other areas that we can position ourselves as SMEs and startups to see and to enjoy this growth that is coming?
So, of course, there are two things that you look at when you're looking at economic growth. You're looking at the size of the economy, and you're looking at the structure of the economy. What constitutes your economy? 40 years ago, if the size of our economy, and I've done this analysis, for example, 1995, the total GDP of Tanzania was $7.6 billion. Remember, currently we are at 85. So 30 years ago, we were less than 10% of where we are now. You see? But if you look at the structure of that economy, and especially if you go back into, say, 1990, most of it was contributed, around 48% was contributed by agriculture. So our economy was largely dependent on agriculture, 48%. If you look at the structure of our economy now, agriculture contributes 26% around that. Now, does it mean agriculture has contracted in terms of its size? No. Agriculture, actually, in terms of total GDP, has expanded. But relatively to other sectors, agriculture has become smaller. And I'll tell you an interesting theory of economics. For a country to be properly defining itself as a middle-income country, especially a higher middle-income country, the share of agriculture has to be less than 20%. The rest has to come from manufacturing or industry in general. It has to come from services. Services are the likes of telecommunication services, banking and financial services, hotel and tourism services, mining services, media services. That's the healthy structure. And that's the direction that you could see we are going in. That's why you could see now the share of services. If you look at the share of services in Tanzania, about 40%. We're not there. So I am seeing the manufacturing is going to grow. Now, what does it mean when you see manufacturing growing? When you see manufacturing growing, it means we are now adding value to the raw materials that you're producing. You see, we'll be adding a lot more value to cotton that you're producing. We'll be adding a lot more value to cashew nuts. We'll be adding a lot more value to coffee. So it means agro-processing will happen quite a lot. It means we'll also be adding a lot more value to mining. You see, instead of exporting raw minerals, we'll be adding a lot more value to mining. So the healthy structure is manufacturing will be linking to and even if you look at the subsectors that are growing within agriculture, for example, the sugarcane industry, is because there's a lot of linkage between those that are farming sugarcane and the sugar producing companies, you see, so manufacturing, but then I'm seeing services, especially digital. You know, the advent and the coming up of AI, or overall the fourth industrial revolution is going to be the lever that will get us to where we are. So yes, SMEs, and especially when you talk about startups, they'll be developing platforms, you see, they'll be developing systems to increase efficiency in manufacturing, you see, because once you have a lot more of manufacturing companies, in order for them to compete, they would want now to have systems that help to run production processes, you see. It means you'll have, I'm seeing things, I tell people by the year 2050, I don't think kids will be going to classrooms the way they are going now. You see, by the year 2050, I should be able to learn from wherever I am. You see, we only meet for chit-chatting, but you see, by the year 2050, I will not be going to queuing for hospital appointments the way we are currently. And I know some SMEs are coming up to develop platforms to help with not only doctor's appointments, but also actual engagement with the doctor. You see, I only go and see the doctor the first or second time where they need to do all the diagnostics. But after that, if it's just a chart of say consultation on how I am doing, why should I go all the way to the hospital? I can do that from the comfort of my office. So all these will be platforms, you see, that are coming up where now and I've said this, we have been able to be successful to integrate banking and mobile telephony. The moment we'll be able to integrate health service, education service, agriculture with mobile telephony, we will attain that transformation. So I'm seeing the increase in the services sector. I'm seeing the increase in tourism. I think, and we will move a lot more from just wildlife tourism to a lot more of exotic visits. I think we will, you know, Zanzibar is now our tourist hub when it comes to beach tourism and historical tourism. But if you come to the mainland, we have 1,424 kilometers of beaches. Most of it is underutilized for tourism. So you see, I am seeing the likes of the Kilwa ruins will be attracting a lot more tourism. But it's also because we've not been able to advertise them through platforms that are making people appreciate what they're doing. So services sector, tourism, digital platforms, in terms of e-commerce platforms, this is where I'm seeing coming up. Of course, the mining sector, especially, you know, the current transformation on growth of mining sector is largely driven by gold, which is okay and good. But the next 25 years is going to be this, what you call the rare earth or critical minerals, the new minerals that are going to be used for electric vehicle batteries. And we are enrolled as a country. You see, another, the investment that the government is doing in the standard gauge railway, in the road network, and because of our strategic location as a gateway to the land-linked countries, you see, transport sector, transit transport is going to be the next big thing. People travel to the US. Some Tanzanians are in the US, and when I ask them, what exactly do you do in the US? I say, I'm a truck driver. And they say that with pride. I think in the next 25 years, we'll be saying that with pride. Yeah. I'm a truck driver, taking goods either produced in Tanzania or from outside Tanzania to the neighboring countries.
Thank you so much. I have a very, very favorite question because of who I am. And we've spoken about this plan to 2050. I was checking the average age of the country is 17 years.
Yes.
So because these are majority of the people who will be alive in the next 25 years, right? How important is it to integrate them from now? Whether we're a big company, the likes of Yas, or whether it's government, or whether it's small and medium enterprises. Why is it important, and how is it important to integrate them now so that they are a part of that when we drive toward that?
I think it is it's obvious, it's very important that when we talk about how, I want to talk about how important, but how can we integrate them now?
Correct.
I think, this is my personal opinion, we integrate our young people into the labor market a bit too late. And of course, there's also a thin balance between integrating the young people into the labor market and child labor. But I think, and if you look at the developed countries, you see, from the age of 16 to 17, people are engaged in meaningful economic activities. You see, you'll see the bartenders or the waiters and waitresses in restaurants in developed countries. These are people who are also studying university and part-time. They are doing that. What does it mean? They're already integrated into meaningful economic activities. But it also means you're tapping into the youthfulness of their energy into the economic activities, you see. For us, we have created our system very horizontal, such that you wait, you finish university, and then you start working with. The advantage I had, and that's why, the 1 year gap that I had before I went to university gave me work experience. And I'll tell you a funny story. When I was at the university, my twin and I realized we are amongst the very few people that had computer knowledge. Because of that that 1 year gap I had, my twin didn't have a full year, but had about a couple of months, but was also exposed to computer knowledge. So I think when I was doing my second year, going to third year during the break, we went to, by then called the Faculty of Engineering. That was the only faculty with a large computer lab. And it was idle, because it was break, it was the leave period. And my twin was studying engineering. So we requested, can we use this lab? I said, yeah, it's there, for free, it's idle. So we wrote a letter, we were told yes. And I announced in my class that we are running training for computer. 20,000 shillings per student. I think it was a 3-day or 5-day training. And my twin, myself, were trainers. We also got 2 other people. One was a faculty member from the Faculty of Commerce I was studying. Another one was the head of computer department at TANESCO. So we designed the syllabus curriculum. we are going to teach introduction to computers, and by then it was called MS-DOS, Microsoft Disk Operating System. We're going to teach, and we need training. And at the end of that, so we got 20 students, 20,000 shillings each. And I think we paid allowances to those 2 external. I think it was either we paid them 100,000 each. I can't remember. It was just token, just a token. The rest 3, we gave them certificates, and because it was done at the University of Dar es Salaam, and one of the trainers was a member of the faculty, it was written University of Dar es Salaam. A friend of mine recently told me, when he went to apply for his first job, he was hired by a bank as a computer systems analyst. Because of that certificate. But my point is, if we find a way, and this is a role that companies should think, how do we incorporate these young people into the work culture very early on? While they're still teens. You see, currently, if somebody, for example, you're finishing Form 4 before going Form 5, you have about a couple of months. Why are we leaving our young people idle? You see, if companies like yours will say, we're going to take 10 of those, just finished Form 4, have not gone to Form 5, they have a couple of months, let them come here. Start learning that work ethic, work culture, doing something economically meaningful. You are removing from them the mindset of being independent. You are creating for them a culture of being independent, a discipline of having to work from 8 to 5. You see, that work ethic, you see. So I think it's important not only to integrate, when people talk about integration, involvement, they think about we should involve them in planning. No, I think now we should move to the next stage of saying, as work organizations, as companies, whether it's for profit or not for profit, how can we start integrating our young people into, and some of these, after a couple of months, they might leave and say, I think I can start my own small entity.
That's what that's So we've touched about it, but something that I also want us to talk a bit more about is where, at least geographically, Tanzania is positioned. We are surrounded by around 6-7 landlocked countries. I think we're one of the very few African countries that has that, geographical advantage. Now, the likes of us, from technology point of view, we can leverage that because if you are not facing the sea, you're not going to the internet direct. So we can, operate as a technology hub for all these countries. A lot of SMEs and a lot of young leaders are watching us right now. How can we position our businesses, our small businesses, to be exposed to the international and regional opportunities? Because I believe, some of the money and everything that we need to grow our economy has to come from there as well. So how can we position our businesses?
So, first, let me give you a very simple example of a real estate. A piece of real estate that is at crossroads has more value than a piece of real estate that is somewhere in the hinterland. You see? And usually you find people that have properties in crossroads, especially busy streets. They'll open friends for shops and other establishments. You see, the same applies to us. It is true we are bordered by 8 countries in total, but out of those 8, 6 have no direct access to the ocean. So they call themselves land linked. They are linked to the ocean through land. You see, again, from the spirit of being positive, they're actually land linked. Now, this gives us not only an advantage, it gives us a responsibility. Actually, the international trade laws gives us a responsibility. I mean, the international laws give us the responsibility to help and serve those countries. But what does it mean? it means we have the responsibility, but also the advantage to tap into the economies and to serve the economies of these countries, you see. Now, look at the countries in question. You see, we have from Malawi, and then, of course, Zambia, DRC, Burundi, Rwanda, and Uganda. If you look at the data from the Dar es Salaam port, a third of all the goods that are going through the Dar es Salaam port, 1/3 actually going to these other countries. And with time, I think in the next 5 to 10 years, it's going to be probably even 50%. Now, let me talk about responsibility, which also gives us an advantage. Infrastructure responsibility. It means when we make investments in infrastructure, roads, railways, waterways, A-to-8 airways, telephone ways, we also have to think of what can we do to serve these other countries. You talked, for example, earlier on, we talked about if the group, what the Yas family is doing, you're also doing fiber. You see, I think there's also a need to ensure fiber connectivity to DRC, fiber connectivity to Rwanda, Burundi. So it's both a responsibility and a business. As we know, the government currently, we are doing the standard gauge railway that will ultimately connect Burundi. I think the connection to Burundi is already underway in terms of construction. Ultimately wanted to reach DRC, connection to Uganda, ultimately through Lake Victoria, so a multimodal way of transport, connection to Rwanda, from Isaka into Rwanda. Recently, the government has already signed an agreement with China to revamp Tazara to enhance connection to Zambia. Probably in the next 20 years, we'll start talking about, can we also extend Tazara to join Malawi? You see, and of course connect Tazara to also join into DRC and things. So that is not only an investment that is necessary, but it's an investment that pays back. If you look at the sources of revenue in terms of export, in terms of export, so in terms of foreign revenue, currently, if you're to mention the top 5, it's going to be tourism, mining, tourism, mining, agriculture, and transit transport. What these trucks and other types of transport connecting to the rest of the region. So that becomes. But number 2, the opportunity is not only in terms of transit, the opportunity is also for us to become a manufacturing hub, where we manufacture and we attract investments to manufacture goods that are destined not only for Tanzania, but for these other countries. So instead of them going to China, we can bring China here. Instead of them going to Europe, we can bring Europe here. Instead of them going to Middle East, we can bring Middle East here, with the promise of that expanded market beyond Tanzania. And therefore, SMEs, whatever that they're innovating, I always tell small and medium enterprises in Tanzania, do not think of Tanzania as the limit of your market. Think of that region at minimum. If it's not the continent, think of this region as your minimum area of market. So there's a huge market, and for me, the next 25 years, as I've said, are going to define our responsibility, but also the opportunity that we have as a continent. Because yes, and that's why for me, even when we talk about development, I'm seeing a huge expansion beyond Dar es Salaam. You see, huge expansion into Bagamoyo, huge expansion into Tanga, huge expansion towards Mtwara and Lindi. Because if you look at the growth of these economies, in the next 25 years, Dar es Salaam itself will not be enough to serve the needs of these countries. Now, that's why we could see, even in terms of industrialization, Coast region is coming up. It's coming up very fast. I think Tanga will also regain its position as a manufacturing hub. We'll also have to go south, both for tourism, but also for manufacturing, especially when we have the liquefied natural gas project in Mtwara and Lindi. That will also come up as a vibrant economic hub, not only for Tanzania, but also to serve this region.
Thank you so much. So before we go to the very last part of this podcast or this talk, I'd like to ask you one more question. And this is from your experience. Okay. I know you've been working and talking to a lot of these SMEs, a lot of these young leaders and business owners. What are some of the critical mistakes that they make running their businesses that you think they can learn something from today?
A couple. One, thinking that you can do everything by yourself. You know, if you look at, for example, the big companies that we always like to talk about, say Bill Gates, the founder of Microsoft. But he did not do it alone. He had a co-founder. Not well known as Bill Gates, but you had Paul Allen. Of course, now he's deceased. And I remember one of the things when Bill Gates was asked to say a few things about Paul Allen, he said that I've never met anybody more intellectually curious than Paul Allen. Said since childhood, he pretty much wanted to learn everything. He had a co-founder who was probably as or probably smarter than Bill Gates. You see. But even at the level of expanding their business, they had investors who had control. The same also with Steve Jobs with Apple, not himself. You see. A lot of SMEs in Tanzania, startups, you think you can be the innovator of the technology. You think you can also be the finance manager of your company. You think you can also be the marketing manager of your company. And you think you can be the administration manager of your company. All in one person. You can. And you do not want to invest, you don't want to invite investors. You want people to give you a grant. So that you don't also want to kind of reduce your ownership. You want 100% ownership of your company. So I think always ask yourself, what are you good at? What are you not good at? Invite people that are good at those areas. Of course, there are also challenges related to partnership. So for me, I think the first mistake I see, people think you can do everything by yourself. You cannot. Number two, stay focused. Especially when you're in your first 5 years or so, when you're growing business, you could see people talking this. So you spread your energy so thin, such that not a single thing grows. So stay focused. Number three, growth of a company is not like instant coffee. You just make it chop, and then you bring it. It's long term. So stay focused is also about stay the course, give it time, and don't despair.
So, Ambassador, thank you so much. We'll go to the final part of this discussion on this podcast. So I will ask you quick fire questions. These are just short questions, also require short, quick answers. Feel free to explain if you need. So I'll go. So the first one, is one thing that you think some of the business leaders and SMEs could know about diplomacy?
I think without diplomacy, there's no international trade.
Okay.
That's it.
Good.
Once you move outside the borders of your country, it is diplomacy that keeps you going.
Okay. Good. The second one would be, what is the last thing that made you laugh out loud?
The question. Just a question. I don't know, but I just laugh to smile. To be honest, for me, I say if your face smiles, your heart smiles too. If your face laughs, your heart laughs.
What is the one thing that people don't know about you?
I am very scared of public speaking.
Really? Interesting. Yeah, interesting for a very, very good public speaker.
I get very tense
Okay.
for any public speech.
Oh, okay. And another question would be, how would you define the 3 words that would define your perfect Sunday?
Perfect Sunday?
Yes.
Family.
Mhm.
Family.
Okay. That's very interesting. Another one would be, and this is probably the last one. What is the last book that you read, or any book that you read that you believe our SMEs and leaders would learn something from?
Out of the men. Yes. This is a book by Professor Dan Goleman. That says emotional intelligence, why it matters more than IQ. And I'll explain why. You can produce, you can manufacture, you can innovate. But if you do not have interpersonal skills in engaging with your clients, you can't sell. So emotional intelligence, why it matters more than IQ, which is a book by Professor Daniel Goleman. He actually still produces books, many other books, and quite a lot of chats on LinkedIn. Read that book. Research shows that somebody who is emotionally intelligent, they can market better 12 times more than somebody who is not emotionally intelligent.
Okay. Thank you so much. So I'll give you 30 seconds to 1 minute to use that camera to say anything you like our SMEs and anyone who is watching us today to learn.
I think I should say the next 25 years of this country are going to be defining in terms of the progress that we can make. And SMEs have a great role, but a huge opportunity. Challenges are there, but opportunities are extraordinary. So for SMEs, in whatever industry that you're in, the next 25 years are yours. Are yours to take. Do whatever it takes to grab those opportunities.
Thank you so much for being a very, very good student, good guest, Ambassador. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm tempted not to add anything. I've learned a lot. I believe you have too. Until we meet next time, thank you.